welcome. Laissez-les bon temps brûlés. Well, it seems like the wrong thing to say here in New Orleans when you're at the tail end of Tales of the Cocktails. Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer English from the Food and Wine Radio Network, and we are broadcasting live an event they're calling here Last Call with Jennifer English. Get your last sip? Well, you've come to the right place. AM 1030, KVOI, The Voice. I am here in the Carousel Lounge, the historic, really lovely Carousel Lounge. This is one of those institutions that you find in a great hotel. I love hotel bars. We'll get into that a little bit more. We're here for the 2009 Tales of the Cocktails event. Have we got a jam-packed and fun-filled hour for you? We've got some extremely good news. You're not going to want to go anywhere for the next 10 seconds, about 20 seconds, because I have Local Boy Makes Good. I had tears in my eyes. I was whistling in the back of the room last night when, during the most prestigious awards given in the cocktail industry, the Spirit Awards, they got to an introduction of the apprentices. And they introduced the top young mixology talent from around the world and around the United States. They had a couple of dozen kids, some of whom, and I call them kids, these are grown men and women. But to me, they're just kids. So when they were introducing them, they gave them their awards. They gave them their certificates of participation. They were announcing all the kids who participated. Our very own Kieran Weeds from Tucson, Arizona, took to the stage. He shook hands with Dale DeGroff and Tony Abuganim, Simon Gifford, the luminaries. Well, apparently something else had been happening all week long at Tales of the Cocktail. He had been impressing people, not just at this year's event, where as one of the apprentices, his diligence, craftsmanship, and artisanship, as well as aesthetics, attitude, and every other thing that will make him the top of the game. Well, a lot of people have been noticing what he's been doing at Barrio here in Tucson, Arizona. Well, they're in Tucson, Arizona. But I say here in Tucson, Arizona, because he is somebody we should be enormously proud of. So last night, there was an award. It was the top 10 trendsetters. It's the equivalent of the best new chefs in the Food and Wine magazine Classic at Aspen. The industry has gotten together, and they've talked about the young people who are working on the up-and-coming, these up-and-comers, the going to be the greats of the next Tony Abuganim, the next Audrey Sanders, the next Dale DeGraff. These are all the folks who are going to be taking us into the next generation of really well-crafted cocktails. And so they were announcing the names among all the people in the country, among all the apprentices, among everybody that was there. They selected just 10. And they talked about how hard it was to select just 10 because the competition was so stiff. This is last night at Harrah's in New Orleans, Louisiana, at the Spirit Awards as part of Tales of the Cocktails. And one of the 10 top trend-setting mixologists, somebody to keep your eyes on, somebody to keep... No, really, you need to have this guy in your... There's got to be a special... Kieran, we got to get you a special iPhone app for people in Tucson. Like, they're driving down Broadway, or they're driving downtown to come see you at Barrio, and they're going to have you on their iPhone, and it'll be the Kieran Make Me a Drink app, right? And they'll tell you how they're feeling. And anyway, I'm telling you what, we are so proud. I was whistling like a lunatic in my cocktail dress in the back. I put my fingers in my lips like a sailor getting ready to throw an anchor line ashore to make sure that they were going to be caught on the other side. Imagine me whistling at the top of my lungs like Babe Ruth has just hit a home run and I'm cheering him home. Our very own Kieran Wade. He's one of 10 of the top trendsetters in America. He is here with us today.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here. This is definitely a first for me. So I'm, as I said, as she said, I am definitely of the younger set. So it's everything is new to me right now. This is my first Tales, my first apprenticeship. And honestly, as you can hear, I'm rather hoarse from a long week of working, drinking, and very little sleep. So it's good to be here.
All right, in a classical master craftsman apprenticeship relationship, you have the opportunity, if you're talented enough, and earn your way into the opportunity to work with a great master. That's the idea behind the apprenticeship program. Talk about it from your experience as an apprentice. Did you get to work with some of the best? And tell me, you talk about working hard. Working hard for you meant learning from the best. Who did you work with this weekend, and what was it like to be one of the apprentices?
Well, from what I heard last year, it was a huge just very disorganized. And this year we had Don Lee and John Darragon from PDT, and they did an amazing job. And they were actually one of the first bars that I got to go to when I was living in Brooklyn when I got into cocktails. And it was really nice having these people that I've had their drinks before when I got really into this and was geeking out, for them to be in charge, but right there with me on the sidelines. So it was a lot of hard work, but I've had so much fun this week. I've met some amazing people.
When you got into this and describe this, because we live in a dry, dusty place where you can get very, very thirsty, but this goes way beyond thirst. This ignited a passion. What was it about this category? What was it about a classic cocktail? When did this get awoken in you?
Well, honestly, this is all before I was of legal age to be drinking. I mean, of course, I was going out to bars and getting into them in New York and just partying my butt off when I was 20. But I was only serving tables then. This little tiny place in Brooklyn Heights, underneath a bartender named Damon Dyer, is now the head bartender at Flatiron Lounge in New York. Basically, I saw what he was doing, and coming from Tucson, and where there really isn't a cocktail culture, and me basically being under the age and not really knowledgeable, I basically didn't know a thing about it. But he's paying so much attention to detail and using these classic cocktails painstakingly, with an eye to detail that was unmatched by so many other bartenders who really are only there for the job and not for the actual cocktail, or really the customer in the true sense. And frankly, it was something that I had already been into absinthe years before this. In fact, I was ordering absinthe from Spain because legally it was okay. I mean, not okay, but, I could get it done. So I took a huge immense passion in that. So this is right up my alley, basically. This was, to me, something I was actually good at that I liked doing. It's the first time in my young life that I was actually able to be happy in doing something that I loved and make money doing it. It was a really exciting thing for me to find.
Bonus.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was right there and then. I was obsessed. I was buying vintage cocktail books online, which today I found out that I have some excellent, overpriced books nowadays, just because of living in Tucson has some amazing thrift stores and antique stores, I have to tell you, like some of the best. I've got books that are nearly $500. Just found out from Greg Foam of Mud Puddle Books, who's reproducing vintage books nowadays, and they're excellent books. If you folks want to check it out, excellent vintage copies. And
by the way, I should say, I've been out there looking too, and Tucson is a great place.
Oh, it really is.
Now that I know that you are out there, maybe I'll leave it on the shelf for you to find.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, finders keepers. I was at Bookman's the other day, and I picked up a copy of the Gun Club drink book, which is well worth $800, so you never know what you can find.
You never know.
Yeah, but basically,
I am going to guess you didn't pay $800 at Bookman's for it.
I paid $3 at Bookman's for it. Yeah. So, seriously.
Welcome to Tucson.
Yeah.
And we tell people that. They think we're all nuts. Well, when we tell them these things, that can't be true.
Exactly.
They're telling tales. No.
Exactly. No, I always go to Bookman's and I was like, maybe I'll find something. And I walked into, check the vintage area that had in the case. And I was like, nothing there. Walked back, lying on the table, $3. So it was pretty amazing.